It takes a special kind of complaint to get books removed from schools, an even more special one to get TV show episodes removed from TV. Yeah, that's right, Disney Channel and Nickelodeon had banned episodes that were not supposed to be seen. If you're new to Johnny 2000, click out of this, because you've seen this already. But for everybody else, we have got so many episodes that just will not see the light of day anymore. Not on streaming, not on DVD. So sit back and get comfortable, because we're about to go through all the banned episodes. From Hannah Montana to iCarly.
You let them do iCarly here, or I'm gonna tell everyone your secret.
What secret?
You know.
I say they do iCarly right here.
Okay, so this episode of iCarly was taken off streaming services. It stopped coming back in reruns. And I think somebody took the only digital copy of this tape, taped it to a rock, and threw it off a cliff.
Virginia and West Virginia will merge to form one huge Virginia.
Or you could find it on the iCarly Season 4 DVD release, but which one are you more likely to find? iCarly Season 5 is pretty infamous for being one of the least quality seasons right off the bat. Not only are Freddie and Sam in some kind of weird situation because of the end of the last season where Sam admitted she liked Freddie, but we're kind of like abandoning this whole web show idea and just focusing on character relationships, which usually would be a good thing, but in the world of Teen Nick, sometimes they like to be rebellious for the sake of being rebellious. iCarly Season 5 Episode 1 is called I Lost My Mind. But what is it that makes this episode so infamous? That gives this whole show's reputation the beginning of the end. It is so clear in this episode why iCarly went so downhill, but that's not why they took it off the streaming services. Whatever, let's get into it. So we start the episode where Carly is super annoyed that Sam has not been showing up to school. She's nowhere to be found. Her and Spencer are kind of trying to figure out why it's going on, but Spencer's too distracted because he's stuck in his jeans. Freddie comes over and he's just as distressed. It's been 3 days since they've seen her. Oh my god, I would file a missing persons report, guys. Carly even admits that she knew they kissed.
You guys were talking and then she kissed you and you didn't stop her. Why didn't you tell me? You should have told me. Do you like her? Is this a new chapter in our lives? What is going on?
Freddie looks guilty, and suddenly it kind of looks like he killed her. Nah, I'm just kidding, but it kind of does. Carly's kind of annoyed, and Freddie tries to avoid the topic. As they argue about the situation, Freddie realizes that he actually has a tracker on their phones, so they can figure out exactly where Sam is. Oh, this is crazy.
Troubled Waters Mental Hospital?
Mental hospital? Give it.
Wait, why didn't he realize this till now? This would be like one of the first things I would have thought of. Gibby makes his entrance, just to come along, not even questioning what they're about to go do.
We're going to a mental hospital.
Yes!
Meanwhile, Spencer gets sprayed by an old lady and nun for being pantsless in the hallway. And that's enough to go to the opening. So we find out that Sam has actually checked herself into a mental facility, Troubled Waters. And oh my gosh, I'm already nervous. It's high security, not even letting the people in directly through the door. They have to go to a woman through a chain fence, which always shows safety.
Troubled Waters, how can I help you?
We're here to see Sam Puckett.
Oh, I'm sorry, Miss Puckett isn't accepting visitors.
The lady says that they're not accepting visitors. And even though Freddie says that they're friends, they don't even let them in, which I understand why, you're a bunch of random kids. Meanwhile, another crossover episode happens, and Gibby runs into Sheldon Cooper from The Big Bang Theory.
Me some beryllium nitrate and 4 metric tons of ionized quadrazine.
No, I'm just kidding. But Sheldon Cooper is in this. Jim Parsons plays a mental patient, constantly asking Gibby off-putting questions.
My pants are made of neutronium cotton. You don't believe me?
Carly and Freddie ask Gibby to help distract the nurse while they break Sam out of this place. They are also distracted by Sheldon Cooper, who has a bunch of funny one-liners. Gibby distracts the nurse at the front by straightforward jumping over and tackling her. That is assault.
Oh my goodness, are you
I think Gibby continues to attack the nurse? I don't know what to do here. Carly runs in to find Sam with her own room, drawing a painting. She's mellow and has a different vibe to her, even wearing a smile when they see her. I don't know why she's in full makeup if she's alone at this institution. And how long did it take her to do her hair? That must have took forever. What's going on at this place? Sam thinks she's pretty much insane because she kissed Freddy, being the reason she checked into this hospital.
Sam loves Freddy! 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 Sam loves Freddy!
Later, Gibby gaslights the nurse to the cop and essentially gets off scot-free for literally tackling her. What the heck? Sheldon comes back and tells him he knows the future, and it's just a bit. It doesn't come back in the plot, it doesn't make its way back at all.
I remember this meeting correctly. About 20 seconds from now, I grab your nose and twist it.
Meanwhile, Carly cannot convince Sam to leave the room, let alone come to terms that she actually might like Freddy. Like, Sam holds her hostage. They weren't in a mental asylum already. Freddy runs in to help.
Why does your hand taste like peanuts and mud?
Because yesterday I was outside playing in the mud eating peanuts.
And Carly leaves them alone to talk about what they need to talk about. It's so funny to think of how far these kids are willing to go to avoid a really simple conversation, and they inevitably start fighting pretty quickly. Sign number 1 of a red flag relationship. Sam admits to Freddy that she did check herself in because of the kiss, and that she must be, like, completely insane. He even suggests they could date.
You're not any more mentally unstable than you have been your whole life.
You really mean that?
Freddy tells her she's not mentally unstable, and I don't know how that's supposed to be a positive or negative thing. Freddy is able to convince her to leave, which is relevant because I guess she has a crush on him, so that makes sense. She agrees, and they're ready to get out of here. Gibby and Carly are entertaining Jim Parsons in the lobby as he continues on his hilarious rant.
To the future Vice President of the United States.
He's not speaking to the... I'm gonna be vice president.
Yeah. Who believes now?
Sam is ready to leave, but the nurse insists that they cannot leave. Even turning on the security and locking all the doors and windows? Does this happen often? Like, you really have to prepare for moments like this, and I guess, oh my gosh.
Trying to escape.
Ugh, I'm not trying to escape.
She checked herself in here.
And now I'm checking myself out.
The portrayal of a mental institution being like this prison is a little scary, and I could see why it might have been off-putting to the network to release this. It's the iCarly gang versus the cops. The cops are like, you guys can't leave. What makes you think you could leave your children? Now that I think about it, isn't Sam not old enough to check herself into the hospital anyway? They don't let Sam leave, and security escorts Carly and Freddy out of the room. Later, Carly and Freddy tell Spencer what happened, and he's in the middle of a book club, and it's awkward for no reason.
Hey,
Hi. Are those your book club ladies?
Yes.
After he escorts the ladies out, the three fill him in on what's up, and they have a plan that he needs to be a part of. And at first denying it, but there's nowhere to run, really.
just get some lady to go there with you and say she's Sam's mom and have her sign Sam out.
Later, Sam and Jim Parsons are getting along, which is cute. And for some reason, they let Freddy and Carly back in after getting escorted out the last day. Is there anybody watching these guys? Then they have Spencer pose as Sam's mom, which should be Jane Lynch. I don't know why Jane Lynch isn't here. She could do this.
How'd your laser hair removal go?
Great, now I'm smooth as a doll.
And without her social security, her ID, they just have her fill out a paper, and I guess she's able to leave soon? And one of the patients actually recognizes Spencer, pulls off the wig, and they could tell that this is another plan of escape.
No, you have me confused with someone else. That isn't me, Pam Puckett. Goodbye.
So security is activated again, and the cops return. Freddy suggests they do the web show from the mental institution, and at least the web show is being tied back into why they need Sam to come back. I mean, it could be enough that she's not actually crazy, but the fact they have to get the web show on is enough too. The patients all team up and threaten the cops to let them do iCarly. How are you gonna have such a fun-loving webcast go on with this tense circumstance? Like, all these patients are standing around, there's cops staring at you. How could they be funny in this moment? Oh wait, well, they go through with it anyway.
Kick my thigh. I won't even feel it.
Just seems like everybody backs up and kind of lets them do their thing. And I really can see why they had an issue with this episode now. Why are they making light of a mental institution like this? It's no wonder that this episode was definitely taken off streaming services. I don't think Nickelodeon would relish in talking about this experience. It's just hard because it's such a pivotal episode in the Sam and Freddy storyline that since it's missing from so many places, it's like hard to follow what really brought them together. I don't know if this is even worth remembering. Like, why do they have to be in a mental institution? You already can tell this is going to be some kind of lost media later on, that people are going to be like, remember that episode when they went to an institution? I mean, at least that's how I feel people talk about now. And I kind of recognize it as the episode with Jim Parsons in it.
In the year 2029, aliens capture Ryan Seacrest.
And it sucks they have to wipe it from everywhere, because I really like that guest star. As they're doing the web show, it turns out all the fans are courting Sam and Freddy as a couple, which is such an inappropriate time, guys. It seems like the teenage drama takes over the law in this episode. Finally, Freddy reveals that nobody asked him what he thinks of the situation, which is fair. He switches to his iPad and publicly claims that he likes Sam back. He kisses her in front of millions of people and Jim Parsons. And it's finally official that they are a couple as of now. And they never leave the institution, the end. Oh my gosh, what is this? This is not the season finale of Hannah Montana. Okay, sure, numerically, technically, it is, but everything about season 3 of Hannah Montana is shoved into this episode. Why? Because this episode was supposed to air in season 3, but since they decided to delay the episode almost indefinitely and then finally put it at the end of season 2. So if you've never heard of this episode, or this episode has been kind of out of your league, it's because Disney wanted it that way. Disney did not want anybody to see this episode. Not only was it refilmed multiple times, my name's Johnny 2000 and we're talking all about in 2000s nostalgia. And today we have a very special case. Hannah Montana is one of my favorite shows, as you guys probably know, and there is one really obscure piece of history that was almost left out by Disney Channel. That's right, season 2, episode 30, No Sugar Sugar, and or Uptight, Oliver's Alright, is essentially a forbidden episode that never really got to air. Disney Channel did their best to hide it, but it's here now. Even the fact that it's under 2 names, like Uptight, Oliver's Alright, and No Sugar Sugar, should already be a red flag. Like, why did they need to change the name immediately? So Miley runs to Lily to tell her that somebody is crushing hard, and it's not her, it's Oliver. So then Oliver makes his grand entrance, which is really funny, and they interrogate him to figure out who it is. Oliver admits that there is somebody, but she's not even in their grade. But they still interrogate him anyway. Oliver relents and just heads out. He does not give them an information. Lily and Miley agree that they are still going to try to figure it out. They spy on Oliver when he goes in to talk to a teacher. Immediately, the audience, even the laugh track, is uncomfortable because it's a teacher. Can already tell why this episode isn't working. Miley and Lily are shocked and don't go to the guidance counselor, which I think you guys should do. Miley reminds Lily that she had a crush on the French teacher, so this is not abnormal. And Amber and Ashley even make appearance in this episode. There's a little moment where Miley is defending Lily about how many boyfriends she's had, and this is just really funny.
She's had a ton of boyfriends since then. Okay, fine, 2. And Lucas cheated on her, so that doesn't really count. And the other one she took to court for you. Stop helping me!
In the B plot, Jackson actually got a B, which is funny because it's the B plot. And Robbie Ray is super happy, even telling his girlfriend to call him Happy Pappy, which... red flag alert. When Jackson leaves the room, Robbie overhears his girlfriend talking about breaking up with him. Oh my god, poor Robbie in this scenario. I would be freaking out if it was my father. If my father found out that my girlfriend was breaking up with me before I did, that's gonna be a boundary issue. Robbie is emotionally distressed and Jackson tries to comfort him.
Pull it together, old man. It's not like it's the last B I'll ever get.
Wanna bet? Lily and Miley try to find a replacement girl for Oliver to like when they run into Oliver once again. This time, Miley and Lily actually confront the teacher. But when I say Miley confronts someone, I mean she steps in front of them and just basically lies until she gets information. But they do get to the point pretty quickly. The teacher says she wanted it to be a secret, and they continue to think that this is true, that he has a crush on her. Right before the commercial break, we learn it's because he has diabetes, and he's there asking for help. Miley and Lily feel really embarrassed that they found something out about Oliver without him knowing, which this is hitting a new low, and I feel really bad for Oliver because it's like, this is not just a normal secret. This feels like real life, real world secrets as opposed to Hannah Montana's double life teacher talks about what it's like to live with diabetes, and I'm pretty sure this is why the episode got rewritten, because they gave out false information. Miley wants to help him, but Miley reads up on diabetes and starts to become obsessed with how she's eating sugar. Robbie admits that Miley has definitely kept secrets from him before, quote-unquote Hannah Montana, so this is fair. Then we go back to the funny B-plot where the girlfriend is about to break up with Jackson, and Robbie interrupts as much as he can because he just wants his son to keep getting good grades. Robbie admits that he overheard she's gonna break up with him.
You want to break up with me? Yeah.
And it wasn't even a miscommunication. I thought this would be like, oh, she wasn't really going to. Then she thanks Robbie Ray. Meanwhile, Jackson has to comfort Robbie about his own grades. Miley takes Lily and Oliver, which is Mike and Lola, to a party. They put on this facade that they're still trying to get him a girlfriend. Lily says it's important to just get his mind off of things. I feel like they're portraying diabetes to be like a really bad thing, and I could see why that's an issue. Miley realizes that the party they brought him to is a sugar party. There's candy everywhere. Oh my gosh, I want to go to this party, guys. I cannot get over it. Oh, Tracy's in the episode. I love to see Tracy. It makes me remember that Hannah Montana has a separate life. This is interesting though, because her wig is kind of leaning toward the third season. So Lily and Miley try their best not to tell Oliver that they found out his secret before he was okay with it, and instead start meddling in his life by stopping him from eating anything that's at the party. Oliver's focusing on talking to girls, and doesn't really notice they're acting weird until she starts eating the licorice that's in his hands. Miley and Lily take it way too far, going as far to eating it all and wearing it. Oliver admits he hadn't had anything all night, so he gets a cupcake, only for Miley and Lily to overreact and tackle him. They admit that they found out from the school nurse that he has diabetes. Oliver explains that diabetes isn't that simple, and that he needs a little bit of sugar just like everybody else.
I didn't get to finish that pamphlet because I got ice cream all over it.
Shh, don't say ice cream in front of me.
Sorry.
Guys, I have type 1 diabetes, which means I can't have stuff with sugar in it.
They end the episode with an informational session with the audience where the actors playing the characters actually talk about diabetes, which I don't think this saved them. And then Jackson comes out and his hair is completely cut as if they got ready for season 3 already. And Jackson comes to make a little bit of a joke at the end, which I could also see would be problematic.
And I learned that someday I'm gonna be good looking and I'm gonna inherit a lot of money.
Overall, this episode isn't shockingly bad. It is a little bit of misinformation. The episode was held back until season 3 in order to be refilmed, and it's the last episode that uses the original title sequence. So it was supposed to air on November 2nd, but ended up serving as the finale of season 2, and it was pulled due to complaints of parents that belong to the nonprofit Children with Diabetes. It's an organization that spread awareness after watching a sneak peek of the episode from Disney Channel On Demand. Parents of the organization saw the episode in poor taste and thought it was completely misinformed of its main topic. It aired on Disney Channel in other countries though, but other countries are less sensitive about this stuff. The episode was then reevaluated, and a modified version was aired on September 20th in the US. According to Mitchell Musso, the episode was edited, scenes were reshot, and the episode title was changed to Uptight, Oliver's Alright instead of No Sugar Sugar. Oh, okay, so that's the official name. Even though the original take was pulled, the original episode aired during a rerun block of the show on the American Disney Channel once, which is most likely a programming error. Thanks to the Hannah Montana wiki, we actually have a good tracking of everything that was changed. In No Sugar Sugar, Oliver seems to have type 2 diabetes, and Uptight Oliver is alright. He explicitly mentions he has type 1 diabetes. The two types can occur in teenagers, but it is very rare, hence the change. While two types are possible to occur in teenagers, it is very rare, which is why they changed it to that. There's a scene where Oliver jumps in the trash can to seek for candy, but they actually took that out. But I always love finding out new information about this stuff.
I'm cured! You, sir, are a genius! I'm going to tell all my dyslexic friends.
Did you guys know that there is not only one, but 2 banned episodes of The Sweet Life of Zack and Cody? Yeah, there are episodes that Disney straightforward does not want you to see. If they find out you viewed this episode, they are going to show up at your house and have a warrant for your arrest. No, I'm just kidding. It's not that serious, but it is serious enough to be taken off of Disney Plus, both of these episodes. The first one is a little bit more offensive, but the second one is a lot more controversial. I'm curious what you guys think of either of them. But you know what, let's just jump into both of them, see what they're about, kind of talk about what must have went wrong in their airing, and then, see what we can do as a society.
Mr. Ford just said us dyslexics have good memories.
Zack is faced with the possibility of having to attend summer school due to poor grades. Just want to note, their hair is getting longer, and for some reason it's already giving me second season vibes, but I guess we'll just stick to the first.
Good news and some bad news. The bad news is that I got D's in math,
English, and social studies.
What's the good news?
I'm out of bad news.
Meanwhile, London wants to learn how to play chess, so Maddie agrees to tutor her. You can imagine how this goes.
Chess is an intellectual game, and you're not.
Well, maybe I'm a little more intellectual than you think.
In a panic, he pretends to have dyslexia in order to receive easier schoolwork and extra assistance from teachers.
Thanks, Mr. Forges. For the first time in my life, I feel like there's hope.
Yeah, see, this joke itself makes me feel like addressing something as dyslexia as a personality handicap is not cool.
Gee, I wonder who your favorite twin is. That's okay, Mom. I'm already dyslexic. I don't want love handles, too.
Cody becomes frustrated when he discovers Zack's deception and the special treatment he's receiving. Zack, however, continues to enjoy the benefits of his lie, which Cody struggles with the unfairness of the situation.
That's because I've been looking at the video game box for weeks. It was really hard to read at first, but then I memorized it. Mr. Forges said us dyslexics have good memories. Yet you haven't remembered my birthday. Ever. And we're twins!
London finally makes a small amount of progress with Maddie's help, but it's clear she still has a long way to go. In the end, Zack's lie is eventually exposed when his teachers find inconsistencies in his schoolwork and he is forced to come clean.
It's just that you're always talking about how great Cody is in school.
Zack, I'm not going to belittle Cody's achievements to make you feel better.
The worst part about this episode is that Zack actually has a really good point. Like, this episode is pretty grounded when it comes to the dark intentions that a person could have because of a little bit of resentment or a little bit of inadequacy, that this would happen in real life. And I like the humility Zack has to go through to admit something so intense that he lied about a learning disorder. It just carries a lot of weight to it. The episode wraps with Cody and Zack going back to the way things were and bickering once again. It almost reminds me of the cigarettes episode of That's So Raven. Like, that was interesting because it took something that was like kind of like a scarily real issue in the world and made light of it and tried to show a lesson in why to take it seriously. And this one I feel like does a good job at balancing the two. Like, when Disney dives into too real of a topic, they seem to dial it back a little bit, which is okay for the overall brand, but you know, episodes like this are gonna be missed. I feel like it makes sense that this season 1 episode was pulled from all services. Like, of course it's not gonna be a good look for Sweet Life, Disney Channel, and everybody in between if this episode goes places.
Can't believe you're fooling everyone with this whole dyslexic scam. A, I don't know what you're talking about. And B, oh yes, it will.
Not only is making fun of dyslexia like a prominent role in this episode, Zack makes light of it, and it even doesn't end well for him up until the very last one. But this episode isn't as controversial and quickly to be off Disney Channel as the next one is, which is Season 3, Episode 20, Doin' Time and Sweet 2330. So Zack and Cody's mom, Carrie, is lecturing the boys because apparently they ruined an entire wedding and are going to have to be on punishment.
What were you thinking? Well, you see, I don't want to hear it. Cody, what was going through your mind? It's just zip it, mister.
We see how bad it is when Mr. Mosby comes in and he has cake all over him too.
I don't know what hurt more, this little bride that jabbed me in the kidneys or the real one who kicked me in the shin.
Before Carrie heads out, she makes sure the boys are punished in the living room because apparently in their rooms they can play video games and have too much fun. London comes in because she needs Cody to produce her show, which is relevant, but Carrie says he can't because he is grounded.
You're officially unpunished. London, you can't do that. He's my son. Oh.
Literally, London tries to bribe her, and of course it doesn't work. Meanwhile, London goes to Maddie because she's desperate for a producer. Maddie apparently wants to do it because she needs more extracurriculars.
You produce a great segment, you could win the Golden Nettie.
Ooh, that would look good on my college applications.
She jokes about Bigfoot, and London is like, oh, we actually have to interview that person. And she's like, well, he's not real. But then she's determined to get him, apparently. In order to win the award they're going for, they need a celebrity to interview. And luckily, Chris Brown is in the building. Oh, okay, I see where this is going. Meanwhile, Zack convinces Cody to leave the room despite their punishment, which of course is going to lead to trouble.
Oh, I wonder what'll happen if I do this. Whoa! Nothing happened.
Cody's trying to do the same thing Maddie's trying to do by getting a guest star onto their show. They run into Mr. Mosby checking in the Cheetah Girls. Oh my gosh, I don't even remember them being on this show.
Just me being a cheetah guy.
Oh.
Maybe we could do the dance thing. No. I'll just open the door then.
Cody manages to convince the Cheetah Girls to join the show.
Show up at the penthouse suite tomorrow at 3 o'clock.
We'll be there, tiny dancer.
London walks by saying that he's fired anyway, while they actually do have Chris Brown on London's show. Cody still plans on going through with the guest star, but it's a problem because when Zack and Cody need to escape, Carrie is like, oh, I'm staying here all day, so there's no way they can get out of it.
Hey, Cody! Why don't we invent something to do in our room? What?
No electronic stuff.
Oh, don't worry, Mom. We'll invent something to do.
Zack and Cody secretly sneak out by saying that they're going to their room and crawl through the vent systems of the Tipton. The boys leave a tape of themselves bickering, which is perfect because Carrie definitely thinks they're there.
All right, take them out and let's start over. Zack, do you have any 9s? Nope, no fish. Do you have any 2s?
Meanwhile, Maddie is taking over as the producer of London's web series. Meanwhile, London starts asking Chris Brown a bunch of questions that were supposed to be for Bigfoot.
So, do you enjoy living in the vast forests of the Great Northwest?
I lived in a loft in New York.
And the Cheetah Girls enter expecting to be on the show since Cody put them on.
The Cheetah Girls and didn't tell me? I guess I didn't tell me either.
It's cool because I've never really seen these girls in a show on Disney Channel before, and it's awesome because the movies obviously are really good. The boys are sneaking through the vents to try to get to London's web show, and they end up falling through just as all the celebrities are there.
Right now, is he?
Yes, he is.
Cody tries to interrupt, only inviting Chris Brown to start dancing, and London initiates a dance-off. Meanwhile, Mr. Mosby comes in to tell Carrie that the boys have escaped, insulting her as a mother.
I have often said that you are a terrible mother.
You have?
Mostly to other people. But I must admit, this time you have really laid down the law.
And she realizes that the boys just left a recording. They manage to even find London's podcast, in which they're all dancing with celebrities on the screen. Oh my god, they're in so much trouble.
Do you have any idea what those little weasels might be?
Well, Zack, anywhere that there's food or girls. Cody was upset about not being able to produce London's web show. What do they think they're doing?
I believe that's the Aunt Jackie.
Meanwhile, Cody and Maddie come to a truce and say they're both going to produce London's show for her. But Carrie and Mr. Mosby interrupt, leading the boys to even bigger trouble.
Boys, we need to talk.
Not now, I'm trying to produce a show. I mean, I love you.
Carrie finally goes crazy and gives the boys a speech in front of all the celebrities, and she is completely fed up with the fact that they are avoiding their grounding again, which I'm not surprised. These guys never stick around for their grounding. Like, why are you surprised, Carrie?
Oh, really? I didn't realize. I don't care!
They can only do this episode so many times, and Carrie can only get so mad after each of them.
Just gonna get Chris Brown's autograph on my...
Okay.
In the end, Maddie wins the award on behalf of both her and Cody, and the boys are still grounded. The end.
And they have all these cool remixes where lightning bolts come out of your eyes and smoke comes out of your ears.
Shut up!
I know.
Oh my gosh. Of course this episode didn't really work because of the controversy going on with Chris Brown at the time. You guys can look it up yourself, but I'm not really getting into it here. The point is, this episode is kind of normal with a really basic plot line of the boys just getting punished and going out to get celebrities to make up for a mistake they made. Honestly, it seems like more of the same. Like, I've seen this episode of Zack and Cody so many times. So it's not like a huge loss that we are missing out on this on Disney+, although I really am upset that we can't see the Cheetah Girls the way they are intended to be seen, because they are just such a good girl group.
They do look cute enough to eat. Hi, I'm Cody Martin, executive producer of Yay Me, starring London Tipton.
Oh, I love that show!
You're the goofy kid London makes do silly stuff!
But it makes sense why they wouldn't put this on Disney+. Like, there's not a lot of stuff that's super controversial. There's the first episode, Smart and Smarterer, but that's making fun of people that are dyslexic. Like, the entire plot line in itself is flawed and could cause controversy, while this is just a single guest star that kind of ruined it for everybody. It's like the implications behind this guest is so problematic that they couldn't even put the entire episode on, which is kind of a shame.
By the way, you're my favorite.
He said I was his favorite.
I definitely think it's worth seeing it for some of the small jokes, but it's not that interesting. It's interesting though because it is still available for purchase on Amazon Prime Video and Apple TV, despite the fact it's not on Disney Plus itself. This episode was taken off of being repeated, and it was one of the last episodes of the 3rd season before the end of the series, which is so crazy.
And you were being tackled by the flower girl. You know, for a 7-year-old, she was tough. She had a mean left hook.
Thank you guys so much for watching. It was really fun to go through these banned episodes of The Suite Life for you. I definitely didn't expect seeing most of what I saw in this, but you know, I haven't seen this since it came out, and obviously we're living in a different time, different things are offensive, and bigger controversies have come up to shadow the original art of these shows, and I'm not super excited that they're hard to find, but it is cool to go over them with you guys again.
You're stressing me out. I need a cigarette.
Who here remembers the smoking episode of That's So Raven? Sitcoms have been doing this for ages. They have a one-off episode covering a really serious, controversial topic and call it like a special episode, and special in the fact that they're talking about something topical. Kind of like the modern day hot take episode. And while TV nowadays doesn't really push a specific agenda, it's leaning more and more away from trying to have a certain stance on anything, makes looking back at this Disney episode super jarring. So That's So Raven Season 4 Episode 22 was actually the final episode of That's So Raven, and a special episode, much in the style of these old sitcoms. So without further ado, let's dive in. What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000, covering TV, music, movies, media, and so much more from the 2000s. If you really like the 2000s, don't forget to subscribe because we go over a lot of fun, old nostalgic content.
If your parents ever found out...
Corey, please promise me you won't tell my parents or anyone else about this.
So we start the episode with Raven Baxter nagging Corey to doing his chores because he basically doesn't do them.
You picked up fresh milk?
Yes! You make up. Thank you.
And we meet Corey's girlfriend, Cindy, who tells him about smoking, and he kind of has a problem with it. But she's like, no, I'm gonna smoke, it's cool. And it's like, this is what I see in all the infomercials.
Corey, what's the big deal? Lots of my new friends smoke. It's cool.
Corey tries to take them from her, but Raven comes in, nagging him to do the chores.
Oh, you need to take that 2-day-old shirt you got on. That smells as nasty. Yeah.
Meanwhile, in the B-plot, Chelsea, Eddie want the casserole that Raven's father made, but apparently it's for the mayor. She says to stay away, but they end up picking out on it.
You heard, Raven, this is for the mayor.
Right, it's for the mayor, Chelsea. It's for the mayor.
Yes.
At the end, they feel horrible and decide to try to make a new one.
Right, but if we're gonna make a new one, won't we need an empty pan?
This empty pan joke is super funny. I just feel like this is such an intense episode to have such a quirky plot line. So Raven finds a cigarette in the laundry that Corey was supposed to do. She actually confronts him about it and already doesn't trust him because he's been basically lying so much.
I was holding it for a friend.
I thought you said you didn't know anything about it.
That was before I knew you found it in my shirt.
But he essentially is like, I can't answer this, sorry. He doesn't out the girl. But Raven has a vision that Corey actually lied, making it harder to believe him. And also, he lied a lot before, so I'm on her side too. She sets out to bust him because she thinks he's lying by going to his room. But meanwhile, David Henry guest stars as Corey's friend, and I did not remember he was that. So Corey and his friend enter the room, and she's like looking to catch him in the act. And she hides under the bed.
I guess this dirty laundry's getting a little ripe.
And throw the dirty laundry on Raven, which is so gross. Can you imagine? The vision ends up coming true, and Raven is like, okay, I know he's a liar. And it's interesting because I feel like the visions don't transpire so quickly. Like, she usually has them and then it comes true by the end of the episode. But in this, it comes true, like, within a scene.
Got him! He is not gonna lie his way out of this one.
She catches her friends trying to remake the casserole, which is, why is this still happening? She tells them about the smoking. And Chelsea points out that it could be just a misinterpretation, which is exactly what we as the audience know it is.
Ray! Come on! Whatever the problem is here, smoking is no solution.
But nobody listens to Chelsea because she's kind of the dim-witted one of the group. Chelsea and Eddie end up eating the next casserole too. I don't know why these guys have like zero self-control. Raven ends up grabbing Corey's friends for like an intervention, having them all like line up, which she's like doing him a favor by not telling the parents, because obviously I think he would be in trouble for this. But one of these people is his girlfriend, Cindy.
Just needs a little bit of, patience, understanding. Get him.
I hope she sees the error in her ways here, because they all start to tell him how bad smoking is, and it's...
Smoking gives you bad breath.
Bad breath. And what girl is gonna want to be with you if you smell like an ashtray, Corey?
Shaming, it's real. It's like actual facts, and they put it in a really funny way. Because it's such a dark topic that isn't really covered in Disney, so it's like, of course they're gonna throw in the facts, but they're so creative about how they put it in.
Weakens your heart and shortens your life.
Bad lungs, weak heart, and short life. Look, I know.
But Corey keeps denying it, and nobody believes him at this point, which is embarrassing. And they even get Corey's bully to come. Like, Raven, why are you even talking to Corey's bully?
Corey, I had to bring in some muscle.
In here, Edie. Sit down.
His name's the Juicer, and he's known for juicing people's heads, which as a kid I thought this was like grotesque. Like, I did not want to see it actually transpire, and even the insinuation that he's going to is kind of gross.
First step in solving any problem is admitting that you have a problem. Yeah. For instance, I have a problem. I love squeezing kids' heads. But at least I admit it, Corey. And you need to admit you're smoking.
So Cindy ends up admitting before Corey does that they were hers. She promises to never do it again because all of the stuff everybody said was meaningful and she understood it, which is really good for her. And Corey obviously feels proud of his girlfriend, and it's kind of like a really nice relationship dynamic.
Okay.
And I'm sorry for getting you in trouble.
That's okay, Cindy.
But the juicer gets mad because he can't juice, which, good, sir, you shouldn't be juicing. And he ends up doing it to the cigarettes. And it ends up being this black goop, which I always thought was crazy, but it really does make me not want to smoke. Chelsea and Eddie admit that they had the casserole, and then they ate it, and then they had it again.
Thank goodness. Yeah, then we ate that one too. What?
Got a little hungry. But look, it's all right. Because, we made another one, and it's right in there on the counter, cooling down right.
I don't know why they would tell him about all the extra times they had to remake it. So this is, like, finally the end of all the conflict. It's a great episode. Like, I would show this to students at a school because I think it's so well done. It's not condescending, and it feels like we're learning something, as well as being, like, a really important Disney Channel episode. See, this episode is very tonally off-putting because it wasn't super common for Disney Channel to tackle super serious topics up until this point. They used to do this in old sitcoms where they would call them special episodes when really it's just them covering a more controversial topic than they're used to. When Where's the Smoke aired as the final episode, it just kind of created a little bit of confusion because it's like, this is the last thing that aired. I mean, at the time, we weren't formally looking at finales. These episodes would just replay in syndication, so it didn't really matter if they had a conclusive story. And it's not so Raven. It's not trying to do this overall narrative, but it was controversial nonetheless. I mean, taking on these topics, telling people not to smoke, it's a really good message. And having it have such a comedic twist is definitely in its favor.
Buddy, come on, dude. No, look, we can't.
But we must.
Okay, we can always make another one.
I'm not used to seeing these kind of topics covered in tween TV. Like, there's no iCarly episode where Spencer's smoking, there's no cigarettes even seen in any of, like, the kids' shows. And even further down the line, the controversial episodes kind of got away with it when they got to Girl Meets World, and a little bit in Zack and Cody, but for the most part, they never really tackled these controversial topics again.
I mean, are we supposed to believe that sweet little innocent Cindy here is the one smoking?
Actually, Eddie, a lot of girls nowadays are smoking. That's a nasty little habit you got going on.
I do applaud Disney, though. I feel like they are the first ones to actually do this. Like, sure, Teen Nick has gotten some mature type episodes, but this is directly responding to something that was popular in the culture, which was a really big deal. Having That's So Raven be about a girl who could see into the future and enacting this trigger to cigarettes is a really cool premise because it ties into the original show and then somehow still takes on an identity of its own and then also teaches the audience a lesson. I remember seeing this episode and being like, smoking is so bad, and like trying to get my parents to stop smoking because like I thought that was such a big issue, but that's exactly what Disney wanted to do. They wanted to lead a message about smoking, and they did. The fact that it's a older sister to her younger brother is very thoughtful and sweet, And thinking that, like, oh, kids at this age could smoke was, like, such a big revelation to me. I was like, no, there's no way somebody's smoking. But the fact that it was Corey's girlfriend even shows, like, oh, wow, like, anybody can smoke. It's really a big issue. And they take it so seriously, and they don't kind of condescend the audience for watching it. They really kind of explain that, like, this is something that is normal, and it doesn't have to be, and we don't have to keep viewing it as such. I really applaud them for taking it to this level. I really wish they did it with other That's So Raven episodes, but the rest is just like the regular show. But I, for one, am happy we got this conversational episode. Like I said, I feel like it would be just as relevant to have it in school nowadays to show kids that it's a serious thing that happens. And I really wish more television did this nowadays, not calling them special episodes, but hot take episodes where we actually talk about things going on. But I guess we've all kind of wandered to social media because we don't trust the scripted shows to not be worried about that. I don't know. That's why teen TV is never the same. But yeah, That's So Raven did such a good job, and it was definitely before the era when things got a lot more censored, so of course they got away with this really good episode. And I'd recommend anybody showing this to their kids when they get older. I really liked revisiting That's So Raven, and I definitely hope to do more in the future. If you guys have any episode recommendations or things you think I should cover about this show, please let me know, because I don't know it super well. And until next time, everybody, if you want more 2000s nostalgia content, don't forget to like and subscribe and show your friends Johnny 2000. Okay, thank you guys. Have a great day.
Give it up for Drake Parker and his band, whose names I do not know.
With Drake and Josh having like little to no DVD releases, and most of these being hard to find on YouTube, you could only really watch snippets of these shows throughout different parts of the internet. And that is not how I want to watch my childhood shows. See, isn't it crazy? Like, it's hard to find so many places, and this was such an iconic episode.
Hang on, I just gotta see this one more time.
What's up, everybody? It's Johnny 2000, covering 2000s media, TV, film, music, and more. So it turns out there is a number of reasons why some episodes of TV shows are not on a streaming service, on a DVD, or even on YouTube sometimes. It could be as simple as So Random's one-off color eating disorder joke, or it could be as severe as Girl Meets World's insensitive autism episode that you guys have been telling me about. I know what you guys are thinking. It's ridiculous. Like, why try to bury something that was so clearly in the public and accepted for some time? And I kind of agree. It's always a reason that you think is just ridiculous, like the rights to music, maybe even a single bad joke.
Turn it off!
Then there's misinformation, kind of like Hannah Montana did with its canceled episode when they started putting out information about diabetes that didn't actually make sense. iCarly got banned for making fun of a mental institution, and Sweet Life of Zack and Cody took out an entire episode because Chris Brown was in it. So there's a multitude of reasons that these networks don't want those episodes out there. Maybe for their company's reputation, maybe they don't want to be viewed as insensitive, or maybe they just want to save money. Because at the end of the day, that's all it's really about, it's the money. But it's a real tragedy when it happens to more than one or even a few episodes of a show. And the biggest culprit that has suffered from this is Drake and Josh. Drake and Josh went on for 4 seasons, and before people got offended by things in general, some of its outlandish humor and approach to teenage life was borderline controversial as a whole. But we loved it! So let's get into Season 2, Episode 8, Blues Brothers.
Hello? Drake, come here! Dude, you're late for work. Where are you? Here, behind the trash can.
Josh comes in all excited because he is chosen to be the weatherman alongside his father on TV. Megan is like, why didn't he ask me? And starts to build a vendetta against him for it.
I'm gonna talk to Dad about this.
Meanwhile, Drake is signing up for the talent show. Him and his band are going to perform, and this fangirl keeps coming up to him and saying all the details of his concert to prove she's the #1 fan, and it's very stalker territory.
Do I know you?
No. I love you. Bye.
And Drake dismisses it, like impressed somehow.
It's gotta be fun being you. Yeah.
Then a guy named Hewitt and his a cappella boy group come up to threaten Drake, saying there is no way he is going to beat them. They show off by singing their a cappella version of Silent Night, which is not impressive, but I guess they're worried about it.
Sleep in heavenly peace.
And the stakes are raised. Meanwhile, Josh gets stuck in the window trying to put something up, and Drake has to help him. And it's one of these moments that, like, Josh's physical comedy is just so funny. He's, like, so committed to it. Apparently, he's going to be on in 2 hours and wants to get a feel for the weather, which, if you're on in 2 hours, Josh, I don't think you should be chilling at home. He practices in front of the mirror, and it's so funny.
Today's forecast. Today's forecast.
Megan comes in and actually warns him that he could be embarrassing himself in front of so many people, and obviously gets into his head. This is probably one of the first moments we really see Megan's personality shine and actually really affect the brothers' plot, which is a shame that this episode cannot be found anywhere else. Finally, Josh shows up on the TV show next to his father, and he looks like a nut. He's doing a great job at first with Audrey and Megan and Drake watching them on TV, and suddenly Megan's voice comes into his head and makes him extremely nervous.
High pressure.
You make one mistake, and millions of people see it.
He begins twitching on television, and it is hilarious. He takes off his jacket and has pit stains everywhere, so this just gets kicked up another notch. Honestly, if I were a viewer, I would think that he was having a seizure on television. It's so weird that everybody's acting so casual around Josh about this. Like, does anybody want to help him? Drake and his band are prepping for the talent show, and Helen and the fangirl. Helen gets so impressed by Drake doing the most minimal of all activities, which is super funny, while Josh is embarrassed to be seen in public. They meet behind a trash can. He reveals he's super embarrassed to be seen in public, which Drake is like, that's crazy, nobody cares, and then this happens.
You leave this boy alone. Isn't it bad enough that he humiliated and degraded himself on the television?
Thank you, Helen.
Drake tries to get Josh a pep talk, but he's so focused on the battle of the bands that he doesn't really think about it. As we finally get to the talent show, it kind of reminds me of the iCarly episode where they're trying out weird talents for kids in the pilot. I don't know why, it just gives me that vibe. But they're hosting this talent show at the premiere, which I never really thought about. And things take a turn for the worse when Drake realizes that this a cappella group stole the theme song of Drake and Josh.
It's gonna take some time to realize.
I mean, obviously they don't call it that, they just call it his song, but still, it's the theme song. Josh goes backstage because he is too embarrassed to be there. But Drake, needing to go out really soon, Drake needs to come up with a plan. Josh, who's too embarrassed, is about to leave when Drake has to convince him the Blues Brothers tribute.
You're gonna sing Soul Man with me. What is this, Twitch-a-palooza? You know what happens to me when I get up in front of people. Yeah, and it's gonna keep happening if you don't get over it now. No, Drake, I can't.
Josh says no to this, until he shows off on stage. He surprises Drake by showing up in the outfit and does a cartwheel across the stage. They go through with the whole tribute, and this is one of the most iconic moments in the series, where Josh is surprisingly too good at dancing at some parts and really bad at others. And for some reason, they have an 8-piece band for this. Drake, you would have won, I feel like, at this point. The music number goes on for really long, which is not usual for Nickelodeon because they don't usually have musical numbers, so they don't really know how to do it correctly. It restores Josh's confidence, makes the a cappella group disappointed, and they win. This almost feels like an exact replica of the eventual dance competition they have in Drake and Josh. Remember one of the last episodes where Drake and Josh have to work as a team to beat this other couple? Yeah, that's kind of what this feels like. Overall, I don't know why this didn't make it. Maybe because of the Blues Brothers tribute, maybe they only had like a certain amount of time to air this episode, but it's become such a staple of the Drake and Josh series. When I look back on my memories, I do remember this specific episode so vividly. And to think that I can't just find it on Paramount Plus is kind of a shame. Do you guys even remember this one? Like, when you saw this, were you like, oh, of course this one exists? Because this, to me, feels like a lost episode. I haven't even seen clips from this in years. Overall, this is the biggest tragedy in the entire group of Forgotten Drake and Josh episodes.
Nope, I don't want to be on TV.
Why not?
I'd be way too scared.
But yeah, that's the episode. So Drake and Josh has had minimal DVD releases. And when I mean minimal, I mean so minimal. Drake and Josh Goes Hollywood, Suddenly Brothers Part 1 with only a couple of the Season 1 episodes, and then some video-on-demand releases from Amazon, which I do not count as official releases. Point is, there's not a lot of areas you could find Drake and Josh episodes. And what's worse is today, it's Paramount Plus. Paramount Plus is supposed to have everything. They told us they would have everything. But Drake and Josh Season 1 is missing 2 episodes, and Season 2 is missing 6 out of 14 episodes. That entire season is essentially banned. I'm gonna get into all of the episodes that are banned in my Season 2 retrospective of Drake and Josh, which is going to be coming out super soon, but I wanted to take the most important banned episode and talk about why this is such a shame. With Drake and Josh, it's especially frustrating because a lot of their content wasn't super offensive, or it had to do with more licensing issues than other things. I'm not sure if fake Helen maybe had to do with it. iCarly went pretty far with what's publicly still out there. And the fact that Drake and Josh is one of the most famous Teen Nick shows is just an atrocity. Is that a word?
What's the weekend looking like?
Well, you might want to take those swim trunks out, because it looks like the sunshine is here to stay.
But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. This is Johnny 2000 for 2000's media, movies, TV, and so much more. Don't forget to tune in. And thank you guys, and have a great day. Do you remember the infamous Drake and Josh episode, The Gary Coleman Grill? Did that bring a nostalgic memory to your brain? I bet you don't remember that. You probably haven't seen it for so many years. Do you know why? Because it was pulled from streaming services. It's not on any DVDs. This is one of the hardest episodes of Drake and Josh to find. So I consider this another banned episode. Season 2 of Drake and Josh just is unapologetically buried. But let's jump back into this and see if you remember exactly what this is and why it was buried. We start off at the premiere in this episode, and Josh is selling popcorn. Drake interrupts with no remorse for the people in line when he finds out that Josh is actually in cold water with Helen. Drake jumps behind the cashier and shows him how easy it is to upsell popcorn. He tells an old lady that she will live if she has it, which is borderline a threat, I believe.
The medical report that said popcorn helps the elderly not die.
Right. I do enjoy living.
But it works. Turns out the boys are actually really good at selling products. 2 businessmen named Buddy and Guy approach them, complimenting them on their skills, saying that their charisma would work really well with a Gary Coleman grill. They offer them 20% per grill, and Drake is really bad at math. We didn't need to be reminded that.
$8,000 a grill! $8 a grill!
And they say they'll set him up with 100 grills. Josh and Drake are both excited by this idea. So Josh finds Audrey in the kitchen cooking. He tries to sell her a Gary Coleman grill with Drake's help, and the two have a very QVC way about them when they're trying to sell this product. I mean, I would buy it from them.
So it just cooks things.
No, it's also an MP3 player.
They sell the fact that not only is it a grill, but it can listen to music, which I am in 2025, where that is a lot more rare. I think at the time there were iPods, or I don't even know what people listened to at the time. Maybe if this grill hooked up to my shower, I would buy it. Oh wait, that would kill me.
Hey, why do you buy 6?
'Cause I'm not an idiot.
Honey, look. I bought a Gary Coleman grill.
Great. Now we've got 7 of them.
These guys are definitely a part of a pyramid scheme. The more I see them interact with other people about what they're doing, it just is so schemy. It feels like an episode of Ed, Edd n Eddy. The next day, they're in school. Josh has his Gary Coleman grill on his desk with a spatula, which I get that it's here just to listen to music. 1, it looks ridiculous, and 2, you don't need a spatula just to listen to music. I don't know why he would put that in his backpack and then unload it on his desk.
So why don't you go out and buy one?
You know I can't. Not available in America yet.
Yeah, That's why I bought 100 from my friend in Japan.
Drake turns his entire interaction with Josh into an infomercial and all the kids fall for it. Suddenly everybody wants to buy the grill. So now it looks like Drake and Josh are rich, and it's just crazy what they're choosing to spend their money on. They have a Coke machine, they have workout stuff, which I don't remember ever seeing them work out. And then art for some reason. Like, why would the boys buy art? They apparently still have $1,000 left. I'm not sure what their concept of money is, but this is clearly like at least $10,000 worth of material in their house. And I don't know how, 1, they bought it, 2, they transported it there, and 3, what they're gonna do with it. But of course, teenagers with this much money is obviously, this is the dream of what to spend it on. Megan comes in suspicious, saying she wants a piece of the action, but obviously the boys don't let it happen.
But just remember, I'm younger than you. One day, you'll both be old and sick. That's when you'll need me. But I'll be in Europe, laughing it up while the two of you are lying in bed, gagging on your own saliva.
Megan should be a poet. The way she uses her words are just vastly impressive. Drake and Josh are selling the Gary Coleman grills at the premiere, and everybody wants one. It's fair to say that Drake and Josh have entered the 1%. They even get in a money fight in public, which could not be safe for their well-being. 2 other guys come to buy some grills. When they say they have badges, Drake doesn't understand what they mean, which...
Wait, you want all of them?
That's right.
Sorry, we only accept cash.
These are badges. Dude, cash only.
And these guys revealed that they are arresting Drake and Josh because apparently the grills are stolen and they're selling them. Ooh. So they're cuffed and taken away, which I don't know. I think they're minors. I don't know if this would affect them so much, but I'm concerned. And I would be at that age, I guess, so. They still don't have any answered questions, and they essentially have to get comfortable being behind bars. Josh starts freaking out with Drake telling him to be cool, but Josh just unapologetically insults everybody in the jail, and I would not want to be locked away with him.
Prison is for scum and lowlifes. Except for you guys. I'm sure you're all wonderful people.
The cops question them, and some of the best jokes are here.
Eyewitnesses say the thieves were 2 clean-cut Caucasian males.
There you go. We're not Caucasian, we're white guys.
They tell them about how the Gary Coleman grills were stolen off of a truck, which leads them to believe it's them, which I don't understand why this is the case. How these guys are like 16 in this season. I don't know why they would categorize them with these adult criminals. Like, can you even put 16-year-olds in jail with adults like that? All police officers, please comment below. The cops confuse them so much and even get an accidental confession out of Josh.
Oh, leave me alone. I'm confused and sweaty.
And they start questioning him about the quality of the grill, which doesn't seem like a fair question from cops. Drake and Josh are given 1 phone call each. Drake tries to call Megan, who immediately hangs up, and then Josh also tries to call Megan. He stays on long enough to tell her that they're in jail, but she does not believe him. She just wants to talk about with ponies with Denise. Eventually, Megan is no help, and the boys are back alone in jail.
Megan. All yours.
So in the next scene, we see Megan approach the 2 guys from earlier, the criminals, Buddy and Guy, and says that she wants in on selling the grills. I'm really confused at why this is going down now. She insists that she could sell way better than the guys and even goes up to sell one of them to a woman.
My daddy makes me sleep in the backyard. Will you please buy one? I miss my bed.
Oh, of course.
And claims child abuse if she doesn't buy this grill. The 2 men are impressed, but it turns out that this is just a secret ploy to get them to confess. Megan manages to get them to admit that they stole the grills, and the FBI guys walk in. See, I love how they didn't believe in Drake and Josh, but they finally believed a 10-year-old girl. And I also can't believe that Buddy and Guy were probably about to work with Megan on this. Like, can we reflect on that? They almost convinced a 10-year-old girl to be a part of a pyramid scheme.
Excuse me, are you this little girl's father?
Yes, I am.
How dare you make her sleep in the yard?
I wonder if these episodes are banned because of how adult themed they are. Like, these are borderline like adult sitcom situations that Drake and Josh are getting themselves in. Like, they've been to jail twice in this series, and they're only getting older, so I don't know where the show is gonna keep going from here. So Megan, Audrey, and Walter show up to the jail to release Drake and Josh. They're surprised to find out that Megan actually did this for them. It's a really sweet moment between brothers and sisters because Megan's never really done a lot of positive things for them. But this entire arc is resolved with her help, so that's kind of nice. The detectives introduce them to Gary Coleman. Ooh, this is embarrassing. They think he's gonna thank him, but he actually just demands that he has all the money back from the stolen grills.
You know, I know you didn't spend all my money, because if you did, I'd be really upset.
And Drake and Josh are obviously really embarrassed, so they throw him in prison and run away. Oh my gosh, they have to be able to go to jail for this. In the end, Gary Coleman takes everything they bought one by one, and they try to fight for it, but it does not work. And that is the end of the episode. The Gary Coleman Girl episode is one of the most popular episodes that I have not forgotten to this day. I forgot that most of the episode is them rotting in prison, and only a small portion of it is them just selling these grills, but all around a really good episode. I can only imagine that this is not being aired because of the fact that the Gary Coleman name is in the grill, it's the guy in the episode, and so much, like, why would you be able to, like, why would you pay so much money to keep this episode airing? I guess that's the only reason.
Sorry.
Happens.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This was Johnny 2000, and I will see you guys next time. Guys, I cannot believe how many banned Drake and Josh episodes I've been able to come across. I don't mean to recycle the same episode every day, but essentially I'm doing it. So there's 2 more episodes in season 2 of Drake and Josh that are just not airing, not on streaming anymore. It's ridiculous. Yes, they're on YouTube, I see that, but when you're yelling at me in the comments, I'm not gonna have a response for it. So I'm gonna share with you 2 today. The first one is the license episode, and the second one is the Little Diva episode. Let's start with the license one.
I seriously doubt our driving test is gonna include stealing a bus and ramming dragons. Do you know that for sure?
So Drake and Josh are just hanging out in the room with Drake playing video games super loud. Turns out that they should be studying for their driving test that's coming up. They get into a big argument, and I forgot how immature these guys were. When they get home from school, they find out that Walter's trying to help the boys learn how to drive. He has this whole stop sign set up in the living room and a hula hoop as a driver's wheel. Like, this bit is so funny.
Good driver is always prepared for the unexpected.
Yeah, I know. I'm always telling Drake.
A little girl!
You get to see a lot of Walter for the first time, which I haven't really seen him be this funny, and I feel like this definitely solidifies me liking him. Megan pretends to be a little girl being struck by a car, which I do not know how that would help you learn how to drive.
Nice going, Josh. You ran over your sister.
I get to run over her next.
Drake does not take this seriously at all, but Josh does. Later, when it's actually time to take the test, Drake gets somebody really pleasant and polite, and Josh gets a really bitter old woman who hates teenagers. With every interaction, Josh and this old woman just seem to butt heads at every corner, and Drake and his driving instructor really hit it off, and she's like really into this, which is really uncomfortable.
Let me just put up your window. Do you want me to rub it?
You expect Drake to get his license and Josh not to, but it turns out to be the opposite. Josh gets his license and Drake doesn't, which is not fair because this woman clearly did not warn him of the issues of his driving. She like only fed into it, which is really not cool.
You want to fry?
Gotta keep my hands on the wheel.
No problem.
But it's funny to hear all the reasons he didn't get his license. He needs to have it for the Drake and Josh Go Hollywood movie, but I guess that's not talked about yet. Megan rubs it in his face that he cannot drive, which is super funny. And Josh is living life on the edge, driving everywhere. Drake is bitter that Josh has to drive him places, when Josh actually gets pulled over. Walter warns the boys earlier that if they ever get a ticket, their license is going to be taken away from them by the parents. So when the cop comes, Josh tries every trick in the book to not appear suspicious, and he looks worse.
Oh, my heart! Oh, the bacon! I think I'm having an episode!
Give this to him when he stops faking that heart attack.
Will do.
Later, he's freaking out, and Drake offers to pay the ticket for him in exchange for taking him on rides whenever he wants. And Josh is like, wow, that sounds like a great deal. Let's do it.
Really, actually, I wouldn't mind going to get the zero gravity CD. Drive me to the mall?
No prob. To the Joshmobile.
Dude, you gotta stop saying that.
So later, Josh finds himself waiting around for Drake, taking him everywhere you would imagine. And Drake just uses him for his personal gains, which is not a surprise at all. Drake holds this over his head, even waking Josh up in the middle of the night to go get tacos, which of course he doesn't want to do.
We're not driving to the night on some Mexican adventure.
Okay, I just thought that a corn shell full of beef and cheese would be a small reward for, I don't know, helping you keep your driver's license.
Josh stands up for himself and says that he's not going to just drive him around everywhere, and he could tell Walter about the ticket and stop holding this over his head. Later, Gavin comes by with a giant shovel, asking Josh questions about work, which is this his first episode? He's even waiting around as he goes on his dates. Everything gets kicked up even more when Drake asks Josh to chauffeur his date, insists on calling him Chives, and makes him wear a suit. So this is taken to the next level, as Josh just sits in the car and waits for Drake and his date.
Chives, do I need to have a talk with Father about the ticket you received? Yeah, you do.
Eventually he gets so fed up and the two start arguing, leaving Josh to sit in the passenger seat and said, go ahead, Drake, why don't you drive? Second he gets in the driver's seat, the cop comes again. And it's the same cop, and for some reason he doesn't recognize the boys. Josh tries to be against Drake, but it turns out to be his issue because since he's the one with the license, he's responsible for Drake being behind the wheel. And the episode ends on them fighting.
You're going to have to give me 2 tickets.
What for?
One for the faulty taillight, and one for this!
The first episode that really ends on a really dark note, and like we never see anything resolved, which is fair because it's like I do want to see the funniest parts, and this is definitely it. So yeah, that was the licensed one. I thought it was really funny. Now let's go to the Little Diva. Okay, so this one in reviewing, I definitely see why it didn't need to be on Paramount Plus. Maybe because it's about this little girl passing out, and not even the same actress is playing Helen in this episode. Like, there's a lot of ways this could be seen inappropriate in the public eye. So I'm kind of glad they don't have this on Paramount Plus, although I do think it's a good episode. You know, no more chit-chatting, let's dive in. Season 2, Episode 7, Little Diva. So Helen informs Drake and Josh that a superstar is going to be coming to the premiere.
I can't tell you, it's top secret hush-hush business. Gotta keep it on the down low. We are having a real Hollywood premiere right here in this theater.
Helen's telling them about the after party, which Drake really wants to go to, and Josh is assigned to escort and protect this little girl around the premiere, which is weird because she has a bodyguard named Citrus, and isn't that his job? But I guess Helen just wants to accommodate her. The next day, Drake and Megan show up to Josh's work, claiming to look for the little girl. When she enters, Josh is more excited than them. We think she's humble at first, but then she starts bossing around Josh immediately, with her bodyguard even intimidating him when he gets it wrong.
I asked for room temperature. This water is chilled. Are you trying to kill me?
And she is a stereotypical snobby kid.
If you mess this up, I will thump you like a melon. You follow me?
Yes, ma'am. Like a melon.
Later back at the house, Drake is asking about getting into the after party, but Josh is exhausted for tending to this little diva's really specific requests.
She doesn't like the green gummy bears, so I had to take those out. Then she suggested I do some sit-ups.
That's ridiculous.
I know.
Who doesn't like green gummy bears?
And Drake is just so selfish, he does not even care about Josh's well-being in this situation. The next day, Drake is badgering Josh still, as this little child is dictating the entire premiere. Helen is making sure Josh abides by every one of her whims.
If I'm gonna be helping you out, I think we should lay some ground rules.
Dance.
What?
Dance.
I don't wanna dance.
Citrus.
Dancing!
This is how he got the visual gags this episode for sure. So now he's working for her full time, even delivering a fridge? Why did she have this as a request? Later, the little girl goes to hang out with Megan at the house, and she starts bossing him around off the clock. Woof, this girl has got charisma.
Wow. Look at that. 7 seconds have already gone by, and still no soy latte.
Look, Ashley, I don't know who you think you are, but...
I'm Ashley Blake.
And this is one of the most infamous scenes. Megan and this girl set a bucket on top of the boy's door to knock them out, but instead accidentally dropped the bucket on the little girl's head. And they blame Drake and Josh anyway. This is like one of the most iconic lines from this show. Like, it was just so funny back then and such a meme.
She was reaching for a bucket on top of your door and it fell and it hit her head.
Man, jeez. Why was your bucket on top of our door?
Why was your door under my bucket?
The doctor from the episode before confirms that they hit her with the bucket and they keep that on the record, which is so not fair.
Perhaps you should have thought of that before you hit her in the head with a bucket.
Wait, we didn't hit her in the head.
Listen to the doctor, Josh. No more hitting little girls in the head with buckets.
Drake and Josh start freaking out because obviously they can't have the premiere without the star of the movie, and they are going to be in deep trouble. Until Drake comes up with the clever but obvious idea to Weekend at Bernie's her, use her passed out body to appear like she is still awake. This girl could be dead for all they know. Oh wait, no, a doctor just came. I don't think that's the truth.
It's Helen. She's gonna want to talk to her. Oh, the garbage can. Here, hold it.
So they have to hide it from Helen, which is not actually Helen. This is another actress that it's weird that they replaced her. And Drake and Josh have to go through the entire event making it look like natural that this girl is awake. And it is horrible. Like, there's no way this comes across as real. And right when they think they're out of the clear, the premiere guards expect her to answer a Q&A. So Drake and Josh insist on going with her to the podium and answering the questions for her.
You two gentlemen don't need to stay here.
Yeah, we do. She's a pescatarian.
All right. The press may now ask questions.
Ashley?
But obviously everybody gets frustrated and the facade becomes a lot harder to keep up. Finally, they get through it and throw her back into a trash can. Oh my god, these kids. Later, they pull her out and give her to Citrus, who puts her back in the trash can, and they leave her there. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I could see why they left this off Paramount Plus. This one specifically, having the little girl passed out the whole time, having the guys take care of her, but not a lot of the parental supervision coming into play. Like, this is a bad look for a kids network, and some of the jokes are funny, but I definitely think it's safe to put this one aside. It's not worth the risk. Although the bucket joke is exactly the redeeming quality for this entire episode. I wish they just rewrote it or at least re-edited it to take out some of the more ridiculous issues. Otherwise, it was a good Drake and Josh episode, but it definitely doesn't hold up with the culture of what we have today. It's not a terrible episode, but I definitely see why Nickelodeon doesn't want to publicly put it out there. Although I do wish there was like a section of that set aside for us. Like, these are really fun episodes and I want to still be able to see them now. I can't believe how much in both of these episodes I still remember. Like, I would assume these lost episodes were things I have never seen at all, but it turns out these are just like the most common, really good episodes that played every day on Teen Nick, and just suddenly they're not available anymore. It's insane. Thank you guys so much for watching the same video every day this week. I really appreciate it, and I'm gonna probably do another one and branch off to other shows as well. So until next time, everybody, this is Johnny2000. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and tell your grandparents about me. Have a great day.
Hey Josh, I made a Drake t-shirt special for you.
So if you saw my other Drake and Josh video, we talked about the banned episodes. There's surprisingly a ridiculous amount in Drake and Josh above all shows combined. Like, iCarly may have 2 or 3 here, Girl Meets World had one, Sunny with a Chance, sure, but Drake and Josh missed 6 out of the 14 episodes in the second season to being banned. 2 in the first season, and I didn't even check the other ones because I was too scared. But since there's so many, I wanted to do more than one today. I wanted to do #1 fan and guitar. So today I want to get into another pivotal episode of Drake and Josh that did not need to be banned. And I bet when you guys see it, you're gonna really feel nostalgic. This was another staple of the Drake and Josh series. Let's quit jabbering and let's jump into it. What's up, everybody? I'm Johnny2000, focusing on TV, music, movies, media, and so much more. Everything in the 2000s had a place. You were either a family sitcom, a work life or school show, or one of those lead ensemble shows. Drake and Josh was a perfect amalgamation of so many fun and hilarious topics.
Video games teach hand-eye coordination, which is why I now have cat-like reflexes.
In Season 2, Episode 10, Number 1 Fan, you get all the best elements of Drake and Josh in one go. You get Drake pursuing his music career, you get a fantastic guest star, and a really sweet moment, making you wonder, why is this lost to time, and how can I get it back? No, just kidding, you're not gonna work that hard, are you? I like that Campfire Kids is the name of the scout troop, like that's a funny parody of the Boy Scouts. The song that plays in the end of this episode is Drake's first album, Telegraph. Probably why it was taken off the air. Like, what a stupidly simple reason. This is one of the rare episodes to be included on the US releases of Drake and Josh, the best of seasons 1 and 2 on DVD. It's called Number 1 Fan, and it's featuring the all-famous Allison Stoner, who played similar characters at the time.
Cool guitar.
Who are you?
I'm Wendy. Well, my real name's Melissa, but I hate the name Melissa, so people call me Wendy.
She tells Drake that she is his number 1 fan, and it is her dream for him to play a song for just her. She asks for an autograph, and Drake gives a Frankie Muniz from Josh's desk, and she essentially is pretty unapologetic about taking it. Meanwhile, there's this whole through line of Josh being in charge of the Girl Scouts. It apparently belonged to Walter, but since the kids are being so crazy, Josh needs to take it over.
All right, listen up, children. I am your new Campfire Kids chief.
You're our new chief? Seriously?
That's right.
I'm out.
I don't think you're supposed to fight fire with fire, guys. So while they're all on a field trip to the movie theater, which is not very Girl Scout-like, Wendy notices that Drake is on a date. She's skeptical and begins to question the girl.
So, Larissa, what's your favorite song of Drake's?
I didn't know Drake wrote songs. I'd love to hear some.
I bet you would.
Only making Drake visibly uncomfortable. She shows up later at his house and gives both Drake and Josh gifts of Drake passed out in a shirt format.
Why are my eyes closed?
Oh, I took it while you were sleeping.
Right.
And this is one of my favorite jokes when she gives Josh the giant sweatshirt. Like, that's so rude to have assumed his size like that. I don't know why, it's just funny to me.
Is this for me or a sport utility vehicle?
Drake's getting ready because apparently this is his first radio appearance, so he's about to play guitar on this radio show. Wendy takes advantage of this too and decides to promote it by putting flyers all around Drake's school. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing is this? So Drake actually has to set a boundary, tell her what's going on, and that he will never care for her. Okay, wait, maybe he's taking this a little too far.
I'm not gonna sing a song for you, and I'm not your boyfriend. I'm not even your friend. So just leave me alone.
During the radio show, Drake is nervous and guilty about what he said to the girl. He takes out a note in his pocket that is his pic that he gave her earlier, saying that she's super sorry for everything she did. And obviously Drake is very sentimental and realizes that this is a big deal.
It's a woman, isn't it?
Kind of. Little woman.
Go to her.
Go to her?
Fix it.
It comes with a really awkward conversation with another artist, telling him to run back to whoever this girl is.
I'm disappointed in you for not braving the outdoors during a gentle rain shower. However,
meanwhile, Josh is being tricked into a tent and locked up so the Girl Scouts could listen to Drake's radio performance. Wendy obviously doesn't want to because her and Drake now have beef, but it turns out Drake returns home. He ditched the radio appearance because he felt so bad about the way he acted, and he even asks Wendy if she still wants that song.
For me?
Just for you.
But what about all that stuff you said? I thought you hated me.
How can I hate my number 1 fan?
It's a very sweet episode to see Drake have a redeeming quality. It's not super often we get it, and while we understand that a stalker is a big deal, and that it's justified that Drake had to raise his voice to assert a boundary like that, I think we feel really bad for the girl and look up to Drake for doing something he didn't necessarily have to do.
What are you doing here?
How come you're not on the radio?
Because
Otherwise, #1 fan is just such a good episode, and I'm really sad that this is one of the ones that is not on Paramount Plus. Allison Stoner is a gift every time she's seen on these kid shows, probably because she does her one singular character so well, and I could watch it in a feature film if I had to. The side plot of Josh being in charge of the Girl Scouts is just so perfect for him, because while he's not in the main plot, he still plays an active role in the show.
Everyone gets one, and then we'll hold a rally.
Savages! Oh, get your scores, you little demons!
Overall, great episode, and reminds me of how sad it is that it's not available to everyone anymore. I like that we have the through line of Drake's radio appearance because it shows that he's still pursuing music. And of course, every Dan Schneider show has to have somebody pursuing some kind of art-like tactic. It can't just be two brothers going through life like it was in the License episode. It has to be musically intertwined.
Want me to play you a song?
For me?
Just for you.
But what about all that stuff you said? I thought you hated me.
How can I hate my #1 fan?
See, isn't this ridiculous? Like, why in the world would this episode be gone? And Drake's song is actually really good. I can't believe that just not having the music rights would be a reason not to put this out. The Frankie Muniz joke is gold. Seeing a random musician giving Drake advice to go back to Allison Stoner is just so funny. And there's so much character in this episode. It's such a shame that it's not easy to find. Now let's talk about another episode that wasn't able to make it. This one actually is earlier in the season. The second episode that's also not on Paramount Plus. It's called Guitar.
It's announced on the radio that the band Zero Gravity is coming to the town, and they're going to have call-in tickets, so the first caller would be able to win the tickets. Drake obviously wants to do this, so he takes it to the classroom. I don't know how he's so able to interrupt the teacher here, but he just blatantly lies to the class and says he's gonna have a party.
So this Friday night, I'm having a history party. Awesome! So just be at my house around 8 o'clock and we'll party it up. Oh, and you have to bring your cell phones.
It's so funny how they portray Drake with technology, like he just keeps it in his hand and is like staring at it the whole time. Like, I don't know if that's what we actually did during physical class. And who is this teacher? Where's Miss Hafer? We still haven't had any recognizable teachers yet.
Excuse me, everyone. Can I have your attention, please?
Drake, I'm teaching.
And you're doing a great job.
This show took a long time to develop because like a lot of the normal everyday assets of Drake and Josh, I still haven't seen a lot of yet. So finally when he has this party and everybody realizes that he just wanted to use them to win this competition. Of course, guys.
I promise that later we can what? We can watch Yermo eat bugs, right, Yermo?
If it'll make me more popular.
It's so funny to think that Drake is so popular to a point where, like, if he had an entire party just for his own selfish deeds and he was found out immediately, he would just be able to continue being popular. But Drake is just able to come across as desperate, not worry about it, and every episode before and after this, he is the well-liked one. What?
Tell us your name, lucky caller.
Megan Parker.
Megan! They find out that Megan is actually the caller. Drake and Josh run downstairs and Drake makes a bet that he'll do everything for Megan for like the next week if she gives him the tickets.
Hey, fine, I'll do your homework. Now give it.
So Megan gives him the phone and there's a question about the planets, which I don't know if Pluto's a controversy here. Maybe that's why they took it off Paramount Plus. But Drake remembers this song that Josh's teacher taught him and they win. I forgot about this song.
Hey, Neptune, it's Neptune. You are correct. Correct! Yeah, you are! It's all Mercury! And Venus! It's on the Earth!
Finally, Drake got the new guitar, and he's showing Josh. It's so funny because he idolizes it so much that he's like, do not take your eyes off of it. Josh doesn't know what to talk about with the guitar, which is hilarious. Like,
how's it going? I'm Josh. You like music?
Meanwhile, Walter is trying to get to know Drake a little bit more because Audrey mentioned that they don't really bond super well.
Why are you waiting outside the bathroom?
I'm bonding with Drake.
Later, Megan asks Josh to see the new guitar, leading him to turning on the amp and actually setting it on fire. Oh, come on, Megan, you knew what you were doing.
That is a special guitar.
She set him up for this. So Megan is just hanging out while Josh freaks out about what to do. How's he gonna hide the guitar? Like, the fact that he was raving about it so heavily in the scene before this just makes it even more stressful. Josh comes up with the idea to throw it in the guitar case and lock it.
It's locked. Yes, some people care about safety.
Just calm down and give me the key.
What for? For to open the lock.
Why are you acting all freakish?
Dude, I lost the key, bro.
I'm like, this is not a good defense, Josh. So later, Josh and Megan go to the store to try to buy a new guitar and replace the old one. He doesn't really know how to buy guitars, and Josh is really funny in this situation. Later, Walter is forcing Drake to have a good time with him, and it is more awkward than ever. Drake has a talk with him and ends up just faking their bond to make Audrey feel better, and that's enough for both of them.
Maybe you should ask your new girlfriend to go bowling with you and your friends.
That's perfect.
Thanks, Dad.
Later at the Zero Gravity concert, Josh tries to get the guitar to the lead singer and get the signature so Drake will never notice he took the guitar. But the guy thinks he's crazy because obviously he's rambling at him, and Drake even walks in on the conversation, overhearing the whole thing, and Josh is embarrassed, but Drake says that he actually really likes that he did that for him. Aw, so it's a sweet moment. I wonder if it was taken off Paramount Plus, Drake and Josh being too nice to each other. Fans would have been suspicious, so of course they could not air it. While they're talking to the guy, Josh slams down the guitar case on the lead singer's hand.
What? Are you hurt? Yeah! Are you hurt? Is it your hand?
Yes!
Oh, I'm sorry. How many fingers am I holding up?
I don't care!
Oh.
Get me a doctor! Somebody get me a doctor!
So he can't even go on anymore. Not only that, I guess he's rewarded for it because the band's manager wants to put Drake in instead of him, which would be super awesome, and obviously Drake's a good guitar player, so this is a big moment for him, and of course Josh helped it happen. In the end, Drake actually goes on stage and is super excited. The next day, the band manager even shows up to give him the check. Oh my god, he got paid. Dude, how old is he? He didn't have to sign a form or anything. They were just able to throw him on stage like that? I guess they did that back in the 2000s. Drake and Josh have another sweet moment, and Drake gives Josh the entire check in repayment for helping him with the guitar. Aw, what a sweet episode. We end with Megan taking away Drake's chips, and that's the end. This one is really fun because it's finally, the intentions of the characters are driven by something positive, like Josh not wanting to let down Drake, and Drake repaying Josh for something that he feels like they worked together to have. So when looking this up, I couldn't find the reason that this wasn't on Paramount Plus. Like, there's no like controversial themes on like some of the other episodes, or like moments that I think would constitute, you know, like hiding this episode completely. I think Megan is super adorable in this episode, and it does such a good job at establishing the bond between Drake and Josh in a more positive light, giving them an obstacle that both of them care deeply to solve. Some of the jokes are just hilarious, including the ones with Walter trying to bond with Drake and it coming across so unnatural. The show is so down to earth in such a weird way that I forgot about, especially in the earlier seasons, less put together. The side characters even have funny lines whenever they come up. Maybe the pee jokes where Drake is trying to go to the bathroom and Walter's trying to talk to him. Like, I can't imagine what thing would come across as too inappropriate. But overall, I definitely give this one of the better Drake and Josh episodes in general. It is classic, it has comedy, it sticks to the premise of being stepbrothers trying to get along. Like, it's a good one. This is really good.
I feel like these are two great cases of why music licensing should not get in the way of television. These are both amazing episodes that needed to stay in the ether, but they just weren't. All we can really do is be sad for a long, long time. No, I'm just kidding. As long as these episodes are available somewhere online and somebody has access to them, hopefully we will always be able to watch them. Who knew that 20 years after it came out, I'd be able to find it simply on a Facebook group? Like, people have such weird ways of finding lost media nowadays that I have no doubt that some way it will be preserved. But in the meantime, it still won't be accessible, and that's just a fact we all have to get over. But thank you guys so much for watching this dual video, and let me know what you think in the comments. Is there other episodes that should have been banned that haven't been? I'd love to know more. Thank you guys so much, and have a great day. So, Girl Meets World ran for 3 seasons until 2017, and it is the sequel series to Boy Meets World. Boy Meets World was more like an adult sitcom, so I was surprised when I heard that Girl Meets World was coming on Disney Channel. I remember watching all the episodes and thinking it was really impressive for being a Disney show. Like, they touch on a lot more darker topics in teenage issues that you would not find in like Life with Derek or Hannah Montana, and maybe that's the reason they've had to dive into more complicated territory. Rowan Blanchard plays Maya, and she is the main character, with a lot of the original cast coming back as adults that raise the kids, kind of like Wizards Beyond Waverly Place does. Each episode circles around a life lesson and the relationship between Maya, her friend, and her parents. It is the definition of like a family sitcom. It's interesting because the original series definitely dealt with a lot more complicated issues. And I'm not sure whether it was because of Disney Channel or just the time it was released in. Girl Meets World has such a bigger backlash than Boy Meets World, but I've definitely seen a lot more complicated topics handled a lot worse in Boy Meets World. So it's weird that we see a lot more about Girl Meets World. I guess this is all prior to me seeing this episode. I've heard a lot of like small complaints and issues with this show, a lot that have to do with the fact that it's a revival of an old series. It takes a lot for me to care about a controversy that goes on in a TV show. But this definitely caught my attention. There's this one Girl Meets World controversy that is just worst among them all. So I was just like, okay, I have to figure this out. I did a little bit of my research and I found out, I remember watching Girl Meets World a while back and thinking it was really funny, but this time I was going to dive into this one specific episode. And I was shocked when I remembered this. Let's get the Sabrina Carpenter thing out of the way. Like, yeah, she's in this show. This was before she was famous. Let's get over it. So let's dive into this. Season 2 of Girl Meets World is Girl Meets Farkle, and I saw this suggested to me a lot in the comments of my other band videos, and I was super excited to dive into this. So everybody's in class when Farkle keeps calling out the right answers. I guess a guidance counselor comes in to talk to Farkus during the class. I don't know why she's not keeping this a secret. And she reveals that Farkle's not on a traditional path. He doesn't want to do a normal thing. And this is the first sign of a problem with this kid. I know this is the son of a character that's already been in this series, but it's really cute to see the connection. The teacher gives a whole speech about being under a label and why you shouldn't have one, which is kind of complicated because a mental diagnosis is definitely a label. And I guess you shouldn't be preaching about that at the same time.
Everyone in this class has the potential to impact our world. So just be yourself. It's the only label that matters.
Then the guidance counselor needs to talk to Farkle again. He tells all his friends that he's being tested for autism. And it's treated really dramatically, like they're sitting on the windowsill. They have to talk about it.
Farkle, we're interested in everything you're interested in. Belgium 1831. Stop doing that. He's gonna stop doing that.
Farkle and the girl he sees in this are very Big Bang Theory. Like, it feels like they're literally parroting it.
You observed me in my natural habitat, so I asked Mr. Matthews if I could observe you in Mediocreville.
It's funny to assume that scientists always would like each other. I don't know why that's a connection for a relationship usually. They have a really sweet moment, and this is what Girl Meets World does really well, is their emotional moments balanced to their humorous moments. Farkle has a speech to the class about how he likes that nobody knows how to categorize him, and that's a good lesson. I like that. I forgot this Ben Savage guy is so pretentious with all his speeches. Like, it feels like every episode is just him having a TED Talk and everybody being around him. The girl is worried that since Farkle doesn't have Asperger's, he wouldn't want to be with her, which is even more offensive, and the girls talk about it as if it's all solved. When Farkle says like, oh, they want to see if I have autism, Maya abruptly is like, no, you don't. And just everybody's so much more defensive about this condition, meaning that like they just want to believe that they can push down this identity so it doesn't have to affect their friendships, which is actually a really serious issue in younger communities that don't understand what it's like to be different from each other, especially with like a condition like this. But the way they portray it being negative is where the issue is standing. Riley has an issue with it, Maya has an issue with it. It's almost like people are trying to talk him out of it. I mean, this is a fictional show, so of course it does make sense for how the younger minds work. Like, of course they're not immediately understanding what a condition like this might be.
Alright, this website lists symptoms of Asperger's. The first one they mention is social awkwardness.
Check.
You don't do anything awkward.
Well, that's just something you do, and you're gonna stop doing that. He's gonna stop doing that.
And it's weird because apparently this episode aired 2 years after the term Asperger's syndrome was eliminated from the American Psychiatric Association's Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. So clinicians no longer actually use it as a separate diagnosis from autism. Riley even says, like, Farkle, when I said you were a little farkly, what I meant was you behave like a perfectly normal Farkle. And it's like, oh no, guys, that's too much. Farkle's dad explains that it was important to his son that his friends were a part of it because he's Farkle. And even ending with, and that's how you are, no matter what anyone says. It's like, that's when it's like being controversial. The original person that reposted this is what blew the episode up beyond repair, and viewers agreed at the time that it was like needlessly dramatic, and it went viral with like 237,000 likes. And since then, we've been finding a lot online about other autistic people seeing this episode and having them feel terrible about it because it made them feel like there is something to be ashamed of, like it's a big issue and that their friends will be struggling to deal with it. And that's actually kind of sad. Like, imagine you watched a show that made it seem normal that all your friends made fun of you for something and you were like the victim of it.
Because he's Farkle. That's who you are, no matter what anybody says.
Apparently in September 2015, TikTok actually had this clip resurfacing from Disney Channel. And it's so sad to see all the people feel bad about this episode, and like it was out of touch, and you know, like we were living in a really complicated time when it came to social standards and how it migrated from TV to real life and real life back. In the end, they tell him he doesn't have autism, and that is where it gets really complicated because it's like, oh, of course they had to put it in some way they would describe as a happy ending, and the fact that this was a bullet that was dodged shouldn't be a positive thing. Like, there's nothing wrong with having autism, and it's just a different way the brain is set up. So the fact that Farkle didn't have it and that it would be an issue if he did is always the problematic stuff. For this specific episode, I kind of lean both ways. Seeing Drake and Josh's band episodes being more about licensing made me think it was a little bit more on the ridiculous end to ban episodes. Like, why completely hide parts of history if they were unapologetically there and meant something to some people during the time they were made? But as I'm seeing this episode, I feel like it portrays an uglier side of our culture that almost wasn't even relevant. Like, I don't mind that they banned this episode because it was almost not a correct reflection of what people actually thought. Not only was it incorrect information, but it just felt like I'm on the team like, don't ban it, don't hide it, but make a lesson out of it. There's some really good character moments, and the heart behind the episode makes a lot of sense. It's just a matter of why did they irresponsibly direct it. If anything, it's not the script's problem, it is the director's fault for making the tone so negative around having autism, but I digress. Have you guys heard of this one before? Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching another one of these banned Disney Channel episodes. I find it so crazy that they're so different from banning things than Nickelodeon is. Yep, and those are all the banned episodes of the TV shows. Well, which ones do you guys want me to actually find for other shows? Also, don't forget to subscribe to Johnny 2000s. We talk about TV, movies, cartoons, anything nostalgic. Thank you guys so much for watching and have a great day.